My biggest criticism, I can easily go into a rant for a long time. I'll try and keep it minimal. Um, the worst thing about this the story in the context of the overall show, if we're going for the episode itself, it would be the stupid nudity jokes. But in context of the show, the 11th Doctor reveals that he is the final incarnation. Due to the War Doctor, the 11th Doctor, we have one extra life. So we presume the 11th Doctor would be the 12th incarnation now. But then it's revealed that David Tennant's regeneration in the 10th Doctor's regeneration in the Stolen Earth Journey's End counts. I'm sorry, but what? Are we really doing this, Moffat? Were you just so impatient to do the final Doctor story early? You couldn't wait until the end of the 12th Doctor's era to wrap it up, or you couldn't let somebody else do it if you left before then, or if you left during 12's era. If you finished with Matt Smith, or you went during the 12th Doctor, who Peter Capaldi was cast as, you were so worried that if you left with Matt Smith or during the 12th Doctor's era, you wouldn't get to write the final Doctor regeneration story because there'd still be one incarnation left. Two, if you hadn't written the War Doctor in. You so wanted to do the final Doctor story that you use that fake out regeneration from Stolen Earth Journey's End counting. And in hindsight, he might as well have not bothered, because he stayed for the entirety of the 12th Doctor's era as well. He might as well have written the 12th Doctor's final story as the final Doctor's regeneration story, and then the 12th Doctor is worried that that's their final adventure, that they're not going to go down without a fight either, and then at the end, they get the final regeneration as well, whilst here the 11th Doctor is just trying to delay it as long as he can, so he can protect the other people, whilst he knows his following successor either needs his own life, or probably will go once they become the new Doctor. Probably, or at least is just going to stick around as long as they physically can. But no, Moffat decided that he had to write the final Doctor story here, so he got that fake out regeneration counting. So this now screws up the Doctor timeline more, as John Hurt's inclusion meant the 9th Doctor was actually the 10th incarnations, etc. Now with the 10th Doctor regenerating into himself, you got the 10th Doctor from parting the ways through to the Stolen Earth. That's 10th Doctor, 11th life, to 11th incarnation and life. And then you've got 10th Doctor Journey's End to the end of time. And that makes him the 10th Doctor, but the 11th incarnation, but the 12th life, which makes 11, 12, 13, and 12 would be 12, 13, 14. And of course, 13 at the moment would be 13, 14, 15. Series 12 hasn't made this any easier, by the way, with the introduction of the Ruth Fugitive Doctor and the Timeless Children. So, yeah, it's getting messy now. 2013 to 20, it's getting messy. Okay, 20, we kind of got a hold of it after this. It's stupid, but we kind of got a hold of it. But in 2020, it's just gone a whole lot more crazy. 2020 in a nutshell, to be honest. In all honesty, I wouldn't mind the Fugitive Doctor coming between the 1st and 11th Doctor, somewhere on that timeline, and they just forgot about her. Probably between 2 and 3, or between War and 9. Those would be the best places. And they just forgot about her. And then the Stolen Earth Journey's End regeneration would be the one that the Doctor thought, I regenerated there, I guess that counted. When it actually doesn't count, as it was originally intended. And then we got this other incarnation. Or the Doctor got an extra life at the end, so they actually have 14 lives as opposed to 13 in their first lot, and they don't remember that, and they got the extra lives they wouldn't remember Fugitive, Joe Martin, and so we've got the extra life, which would be Matt Smith, and they would think that would be 13, and then David Tennant regenerating himself just makes it 12 again anyway, so that's possible. I honestly wouldn't mind that. I don't want her to be a pre-William Hartnell Doctor. I think William Hartnell is the first Doctor. Even if there was Timeless Children before him, I think the first Doctor, as played by William Hartnell, is still the first Doctor, and they just, when they wiped the Timeless Child's memories, they regenerated them into a child or a baby or something, and then that will grow up into the first Doctor, as played by William Hartnell. So I think that's still the first Doctor, and then they've got this other life as Timeless Children, in a similar way to being the other prior to becoming the Doctor, as the novel Lungbarrow attempts to imply. or probably states. I haven't read Lungborough. If you've read Lungborough or you know a lot about it, comment below whether it actually states or if it just implies that the Doctor was previously the other. But in as for the Doctor's life from who we know as the first Doctor onwards, I wouldn't mind the refugitive Doctor coming between 2 and 3 or War and 9. To be honest, I would prefer her to be the 14th Doctor, but if she's an early incarnation, I would not mind that, so long as this fake out regeneration didn't count, or did count, but only if the 11th Doctor was an extra life added on, because the Doctor wouldn't have remembered the fugitive and just wondered, oh, I'm dying after 12 incarnations. And if fugitive did count, but the Doctor wasn't an extra life, the fake out regeneration would be counted in the Doctor's head. That doesn't actually count. And Series 7, we got an instance where he used regeneration energy to heal River Song, Riston, the Angels Take Manhattan, and Nightmare and Silver, the 11th Doctor, mentioned that there was some more incarnations after him. So if the Cyber Planner, aka Mr. Clever, in that story killed him, he says, who knows what's next? So yeah, this whole thing is basically pulled out of Stephen Moffat's arse. So I'm sorry to say that. It honestly would have been better if the 12th Doctor was the last incarnation, and also this would then explain why you then have the first 12, 13 Doctors were all white men from the UK, and then starting with the incarnation after the 12th Doctor, the Doctor would then start to say, okay, new set of regenerations, let's try something a bit different this time, and that would explain why they then decide to become a woman for that incarnation, and maybe they'll try out a few other different types in the future. As with the Doctor, it can actually happen as it's regeneration. Anything is physically and mentally possible. So, in conclusion, this is all a load of bullcrap. The War Doctor counting, that's fine. But unless the Fugitive Doctor is going to be actually counting as a dot between 1 and 11 incarnation, and that fixes this up, then this is going to be screwed anyway. And if the Fugitive Doctor is the 14th Doctor, then it's basically we're basically back to what we were pre-Series 12. But it's still not ideal, especially with the whole Timeless Child stuff before that. It's just gotten more complicated. The inclusion of the War Doctor, fair enough, but it's then got even more complicated afterwards. Doesn't help that the whole uses of the Stolen Earth one is just plain stupid anyway. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Universal's YouTube channel. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Nicholas Payne bonus content YouTube channel.